family? Oh, now. It's sometimes being the family, there's some dirt. You know? Yeah, really. I got a shovel, and I know where it is. But anyway, beautiful picture there. Buddha. Meaning an enlightened being, one who has awakened from the sleep of ignorance and achieved freedom from suffering. So Buddha is not this person's name. It is a state of consciousness. I am not even going to try to pronounce his name, but I do know that he was from royalty and came from wealth and from money. But he also went into poverty. So he saw the dynamics of what life is. And through that, he came to an enlightened state. And for their philosophy, it's about suffering, going through suffering and overcoming that and becoming enlightened and knowing the truth of who and what they are. So that's one person that we basically look up to as a society, regardless of your religion. Next. Gandhi. If I have a belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning. Isn't that a quote? How often are we afraid to do something because I don't know how to do it? The love of my life loves to tell this story. When we got together, I didn't even know how to change a bicycle tire. And now I can build a house. And the only way I got there is because of this quote, that quote. So I didn't let what I didn't know stop me. I knew within myself that I can do this. I just need to figure it out. And so I did. All the while, Spirit was right there with me. I had to do the work. I had to acquire the knowledge. But the knowledge, the expertise, the examples of how to live life were always there. I just had to open my eye, physically and spiritually, to see that. Rosa Parks stood up for justice by sitting down. So far, you'll notice there's a common thread here. They were all relative pacifists. They didn't acquire this enlightenment or cause change in society because of fighting, of turmoil, of ranting and raving of fist. They did so calmly and peacefully. The surface of the ocean can sometimes be traumatic and in turmoil. But how much of the ocean is really in that state when you consider the whole depth of the ocean? I'm sure you go 15 feet, 20 feet under the water, you would never know that there was a hurricane just 15 feet away from you, because the ocean is that vast, that deep, that dynamic. Each and every one of us are that ocean. Our surface may seem like in turmoil, but that divine nature that is in each and every one of us is there in a calm state. We all know this, gentlemen. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. Now that's a big statement. I know for myself, this past week, actually a couple weeks, have been a little bit traumatic. And this is on a personal level. I've had some stuff with the family going on. I've had some stuff with my work going on that I had to deal with. And I found myself getting in a state of, oh, hell, let's call a spade a spade. I was enraged. I was in that state, in that ditch. I was in that energy of, I am pissed off and they're going to know it. So my talk is grace under fire. So that saying, I'm sure it resonates, it clicks with you. You see it, you understand it. I'm going to talk about it from this standpoint, and let's see if it's a little bit different. The fire is my surface, is my relative life, dealing with the neighbors, dealing with the gardeners, dealing with trash, dealing with my spouse. That's always lovely. Don't get me wrong. That's a disclaimer. Now, she, on the other hand, might have something different to say, but that's her journey, not mine. But I was in the relative. I was dealing with it on a surface level. I was pissed off. I was it was just not a happy state. But inside of me, in the eye of the storm, is that grace. Capital G, Spirit, the universe, God. It doesn't matter what you call it. It is there. And we're here to talk about that and to teach you that you do have that. Regardless of where you think you are right now in your life, there is a divine aspect in each and every one of you. And so hopefully this talk today will help you see that and bring that up to the surface. The fire is my own introspection. God bless America. Only I know that what I'm thinking, and if the world were to know, would it be something to aspire to? Man, I cannot get the words out today, but that's okay, because I can act it out. I'm an actor. But realistically, I know for myself, and I'm talking from my vantage point, there's times when I'm talking with somebody, and man, I've got a story to, if they only knew what I was thinking about them, hoo-wee, I don't know if we'd be friends. But I have to be authentic with myself, right? We have to be authentic with ourselves. That doesn't mean to stop those type of feelings. What it means, would it be something to aspire to? By me looking at my inner thoughts and my inner feelings, something outside of myself doesn't need to change me. I need to change me. I need to see where I'm standing. Where is my foothold on this thing called life? Am I standing in grace? Or am I dealing with the relative life and dealing with fire and coming from that aspect? What is my driving force? Is it fear or is it love? That sometimes gets the best of me. And here I am a reverend, but I'm here to tell you, I'm human. First and foremost, every one of those people that I showed, the first thing you think about is their divine nature, the peacefulness that they bring, what you think about when you see them. But I can tell you what, one of those stories about Jesus was he went into that temple and ransacked it. So there is a rage, even in Jesus. I'm sure Gandhi had it. I'm sure all of them had that within themselves. But they saw the truth of who and what they are and rose above it. They became the grace under fire. Again, the fire being that relative life. The grace is what is divine within you. Have that come up and quench the fire. When we realize that our own life is unfolding from within our own being, we come to the realization that no one on earth has ever hurt us. And no one on earth has ever helped us. No one can benefit us. No one can harm us. It is what goes out from us that returns to bless or condemn us. Whoo-wee, that's a pill to swallow. That's a big pill. So let us quit looking outside of ourselves and saying, my good comes from here or from there, when we realize that we are the creator of our good. Life unfolds perfectly, meaning our attitude, our feelings, our thought patterns, with the grace that is in us, manifests that divine reality. When you can realize that, and thank you, Goldsmith, for that quote. Each of us are autonomous. We have our own lives, but our own expression of life fits together to help one another. Earlier this week, I had a phone call, and, well, before I talk about that, I love the idea of free will, but I never could understand how can I have free will and there be a predestined, or if you believe in something being predestined, how can that be? I just didn't understand it. Here I am. I can think what I want to. I could act like I'm going to be turning left and then at the last second turn right. So how can that be predestined? But then I realized this. Here I am living my own life, first off, not ever thinking about stepping into a church, not even thinking about becoming a practitioner, not even thinking about becoming a reverend, and yet here I am. Because I was living my authentic self. I wanted to know more about how life worked and how to have Spirit work in conjunction with me, where I take the order, and God is nothing but the chef in the back serving up my plate of food. If I don't like what I'm eating, I ordered it. But I realized that the idea of predestined doesn't mean that sometime in the past something was written down on a piece of paper or a stone or a tablet that says, I'm going to do such and such on a certain day. What I'm realizing is that we each have our own idea of how we want to live. But that fits in perfectly with someone else's idea on how they want to express. And so that's where I'm coming here. So here I am, this reverend. And this person calls me up the other day and just going through a turmoil. And yet I'm able to pick up that phone and be able to help this person through what they're going through. It was predestined that we were to meet, like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. Each one is individual in itself, but yet it connects together with another piece. And as more and more pieces come and fit together, we create that divine picture of Spirit, of oneness. That is something that it's nice to realize while you're driving down Highway 111 in rush hour. Grace is knowing that I am the action of Spirit as I live through this being inspired to change humanity of a situation. And if any of you know that is Dr. Laura's saying. She's always being inspired to change humanity. But I tell you what, sometimes it's a difficult, I go off-roading, and that is a bumpy road. That is, so thank you, Dr. Laura. Doing an A-B comparison. Am I on the right track? Have you ever asked yourself that? Am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right job? Am I with the right person? Do I have the right pet? The answer isn't about what track you're on. It's about the ultimate destination. Those tracks go every which way. Let's let life not be a single track like point A to point B. Let's enjoy switching lanes and switching the tracks and allowing life, that divine inspiration that is inside of us, allow it to inspire us to turn left as opposed to we were thinking we were going to go right. Or let's go backwards a little bit. Allow flexibility in your own life and in your own consciousness. Because when you are rigid in what you think ought to happen with the world, that's when you break. When you find yourself in a metaphorical ditch, remember this: divine inspiration to channel healing. That's my answer to Dr. Laura. This is how you get out of the ditch. Realize where you are. Being in the ditch is just one step of this party that we call life. So when you are divine inspiration to channel healing, you will ultimately find a way out of that ditch. But here's the best part about being in the ditch. Just like the dynamics of spirit, you now have a dynamics of experience, so that when your puzzle piece comes in contact with another person's puzzle piece, you might have the exact thing that person needs to hear to be able to help them get out of their ditch. Having life experience is what makes this life so grand, that we are here, regardless of what side of the planet you're on, what state you're in, we are all here to help one another. It could be as simple as helping someone load the groceries into their car or taking the cart back to the shop. We never know when a simple act of kindness could change someone's day, could change someone's life. The universe is not limited. It is abundant, lavish, extravagant. Nothing can be taken from nor added to it. Capital I, meaning spirit. Creation, spirit, is the play of life upon itself. So, grace under fire. What fire are you dealing with? I know I'm dealing with my fire, but know that whatever fire you're dealing with, there is a grace within each and every one of you. And the reason why I know that is because there's a grace in me, and I recognize that divinity in me. And here's one other thing. If you don't believe that you have that grace inside of you, take my faith in you. Take my faith that you have that grace, that divine attribute, and rely on my faith, because ultimately you will see the grace that you are, the spirit you are in action. Thank you so much for your time.